see y'all, but I don't hear y'all. Good morning. It's early, I know. My name is Langar. I have been in Hamilton about 2 years. I'm from Houston, Texas, and I work currently at the YWCA. I'm the Director of Empowerment and Advocacy, which has been renamed. I was the Racial Justice Director, but we know what's going on with federal funding. So I got a new name, same mission. I have been a therapist for 14 years. I have worked in probably every single industry you could think of, except at a funeral home. Um, I've worked in foster care. I've worked in hospice. I am a certified forklift trainer. I am an Army veteran. Um, but outside of all of those things, I am a child of God. I'm a woman. I'm a mother. I'm a daughter. I'm a friend. I'm an advocate. So I want to say thank you so much for having me here today. I am not sick. Let me put this out. I am not sick. So I just have some allergy stuff going on today. So I have some water, and if I clear my throat a lot, I'll have nothing contagious. So I have been asked here today to talk about social acceptance. So let me tell you a story really quick before we get started. There was once a little girl who did not like talking to people. She had friends, but she never talked in the friend group. She always listened. And everybody asked this little girl's opinion, and she never wanted to give it until one day somebody called her up on the stage at church and said, "Can you lead the youth in a talk about friendship?" That little girl was me. My friends had nominated me to do this. And so to this day, at the age of 21, don't go looking for my birth certificate. At the age of 21, I am still that girl. I am that girl that does not like public speaking. I am that girl that does not want to get in front of people and say anything. I like being behind the scenes. I like listening. But I learned something about myself. I learned that I have a message. And so it is my responsibility and my job to get this message out, whether I like it or not, because it is my assignment. So, the person who has social intolerance is going to be talking about social acceptance today. Are we ready? All right. So, I have a little exercise for the people that's walking in. If you guys can come up front, please. Thank you so much. All right. So, our icebreaker today is going to be ask your neighbor who they are. And if you're sitting next to somebody you know, then move just next to somebody you don't know. All right? Ask your neighbor, who are you? Not yet. Not yet. Give me a click. You switch back and forth 3 times. So I'll ask Jamila, who are you 3 times? She'll ask me who I am 3 times. You may only give one word answers each time, and you may not say your name. Are we clear? All right, so everybody find a partner. Ask your neighbor or your partner, who are you? You're gonna ask each other 3 times. You may not give your name, and you may only say one word. All right, ready, set, go. Have fun, y'all. This is fun. Find somebody you don't know or you don't know well. Make sure you remember your neighbor or your partner's answer. Remember their answers. You got 1 more minute. 1 more minute. Find someone in the room. Ask them who they are. Y'all gonna switch 3 times. They'll ask you 3 times, who are you? You ask them 3 times. Only give one word, not your name. You can Pick anybody in the back. All right, we ready? Everybody ready? All right, you may take your seats. Thank you so much. All right, let's talk about it. So, anybody want to give their neighbors' responses or their partner's responses? Yes.
Three responses was she's a wife, she's a mom, and she's a veteran.
Anybody else want to share?
I had Adriana. She's an aunt and she's a friend.
Thank you so much. Anybody else?
My partner is a basketball player, a sister, and a leader.
Love it. Anybody else? Anybody else? Thank you so much for doing that exercise. I do that exercise for a couple of different reasons. Did anybody in here choose the name on their birth certificate? Did y'all choose your name? Or would somebody give it to you? Did anybody choose where they were born? Or did your mama just have you wherever she was ready to give birth? Right? We didn't choose where we were born. We didn't choose our name. That is why that is not who we are. We get to decide who we are after those things are given to us. So, social acceptance is feeling included, involved, valued, part of a community, social group, and our interactions with others. Being actively welcomed, respected, appreciated, creating a sense of belonging. Our sense of belonging comes from inside, right? Why would you expect somebody to accept you when you don't accept yourself? So your external sense of belonging comes when you go outside, right? If you're well within, you will be well without, all right? So, places and people, these are our social norms, right? Social media. How many people in here have social media? Everybody better raise their hand. Y'all know y'all on social media. Social media creates social norms, right? What we post. What are we posting online? What are we posting about ourselves? What are we posting about others? School. For all my students here, what are we doing at school? How are we behaving at school? How are we interacting with our peers at school? Religious environments, where we are now, in church. There's social norms in church. There are ways that we are to behave in here in public spaces. So, libraries or rec centers and work. All these places have their own social structures, all right? People, our families. How do we interact with our parents, right? Our siblings. I know when me and my cousins get together, we turn up. But when my mom and daddy are around, we don't turn up as much, right? So this is all social acceptance. These are all social norms. Teachers, how are we interacting with our teachers and how are they interacting with us? Religious leaders and employers. Obviously, when you're at work, you're not going to behave like you do at school. So let's do a self reflection. All of those people and places that we just talked about, let's talk about who do I naturally gravitate towards. So does anybody feel like sharing? Anybody feeling empowered? Who do you normally gravitate towards when you go out? Who are your social groups? Anybody want to share? It's not right or wrong. It's just honesty. Anybody want to share? So I'll share. I gravitate towards people that look like me. I'ma just keep it at it. I do. Why do we do that? Why do we gravitate towards people that look like us? We feel comfortable. What else? What else? I don't know, sis. But look at the smile on her face. I can relate to her. We gravitate towards people that look like us, people that we can relate to. That's social acceptance. But you have to know who you are. Because if you know who you are, you will be aligned with other people, right? You get that feeling like, oh, I feel good energy over here. Let me come over here and see what's up with sis. Or, I don't like what's going on over there. I'm going to stay away from that. Think about who you naturally gravitate towards. It has a lot to do with you, not the other people. Do I hold any biased feelings or thoughts about other groups? Not going to make anybody answer this out loud. Self-reflection. Think about it. When we see a group of people, or if we're out walking, online, social media, check your implicit biases. What are we thinking about these people? The way they talk, the way they're dressed, their physical appearance. What are they saying? What are they posting? Right? And if you find yourself in a judgmental space, if you find yourself questioning, check in with yourself. Make sure that we are accepting this. Because if we are accepting this, we have no room to judge this. Am I practicing acceptance versus tolerance? We know the difference. Yeah? We know the difference? Come on, sis, talk to us.
So acceptance is when you open and you welcome anybody. When you're tolerating somebody, you just putting up with their presence. You don't really like them, and you just doing enough to just get what you need out of them and move on.
I like that. I like the way you put that. Getting what you need. So it's your personal interest. Just like perhaps if y'all are at school, at lunch, remember self-acceptance, being welcoming, belonging. Somebody come to y'all table. Can I sit at y'all table? Yeah, go ahead, sit down. Can I sit at y'all table? Yeah. Come join us. See the difference? Acceptance, tolerance. If it ain't no other seat in the lunchroom, I guess you could sit at our table, right? Who wants to be treated that way, right? Maybe it's your first day of school. So now I don't even want to go to this school anymore. Am I welcoming, respectful beliefs, choices, spaces of others? We don't get to tell people how to feel. And unfortunately, we don't get to tell people how to live. Because my kids will be doing everything I told them to do right now, right? But we have to be respectful of people's choices, whether we like them or not. I have adopted this saying, if you like it, I love it. It is not my job to live your life. It took me a long time to get there because I was this person. Tell me an idea. I knew it was dumb. Girl, that's stupid. Me today, you tell me an idea. I know it's dumb. I know you're not going to be successful. My response, if you like it, I love it. I'm going to be respectful of your decisions and your space. So self-reflect. Our factors of social acceptance, culture. So each culture has various traits, and I'm going to use this for example. We still have, so I grew up with my 3 generations. My great-great-great-grandmother, right? She was still around when I was little. Sunday dinner. Who still has Sunday dinner? Who still has Sunday dinner in here? Listen, you miss Sunday dinner in my family, yeah? You could just go ahead and leave the family. Missing Sunday dinner is not an option in my family. I don't care if you eat. I don't care if you bring something. You could even bring a friend, but you better be here, right? Cultural norms. That's what we do. So think about some of the things that you do. in your culture, in your family. Keep those near and dear to your heart. Societal norms. So, adhering to societal norms influences social acceptance. Depending on what school you go to, what kind of grades you get, that could determine your social group. Individual differences, personality traits, social skills, and experiences influence levels of acceptance. Again, know who you are. If you shy, it's okay to be shy. If you are selectively social, it's okay to be selectively social because I don't want to talk all the time and I don't want to talk to everybody. And that's okay. Nobody gets to tell me that I can't be that way. So know yourself. Know what you like. Know what you don't like. Know who you want to be around. Know who you don't want to be around. Make those decisions before you go out into the world. Acceptance is a choice we can make every day to find freedom from the burden of judgments. I used this word earlier on purpose. If we check ourselves, if we know ourselves, we don't have space, room, time, or the opportunity to judge anybody else. Because knowing yourself means you know your faults, your flaws, your talents, your skills, your abilities. So if I'm doing all that in here, how I got time to be looking out here? Again, know yourself, accept yourself. Self love is social acceptance. So if you didn't hear anything else I said today, self love is social acceptance. When you love yourself, you accept yourself. When you know yourself, you accept yourself. It's not up to the world to accept us. Accept yourself. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I love the energy. I love the energy, how she engaged with everyone. So I gave you guys some papers. What I want you to do is think about some of the things that she said, if not all. And if you have any questions, please make sure you write those questions on that piece of paper, and we're going to put them back there in that box, or give them to me and we'll put them in there, okay? This is just so we can utilize this for the panel. Any questions, please feel free. Don't be scared. This is open to you all, okay? And so at this moment, we're going to break off into some groups, okay? And that's going to be ages. Well, actually, I think everybody is around the same age. I believe it's that. Yep. Daniel. Okay, so Daniel, Jada's age. Okay, so Ivy. Okay, so Ivy, Jada, and Daniel. We're gonna have y'all sit back over here. Okay, and then the older ones to come sit over here. Yeah, you can sit right there. It doesn't matter. Y'all can sit right there together. I want y'all to sit there together. Nehemiah and Sean, y'all come over here as well. Y'all are the older ones. AD, you can sit right here, so y'all can sit right there. We're gonna break off, and then what I want you guys to do is talk about. She talked about social acceptance. Talk about how does that relate to you guys? Okay, you have at least 10 minutes. 10 or 15 minutes to talk about it, okay? So be open about how this involves you guys, social acceptance. Okay. Okay. Y'all gonna talk. Y'all scared.